Star Wars Episode 9 started filming last week. And only 501 days till we see it. Hello, cult members. Welcome to the big show of the Pop Culture Cult. I'm Sean.
I'm Janice.
That's right. We announced last week that the name of this show is called The Big Show because we are super
big
in our own minds and original in so many ways.
It's
and
bigger, it's longer, and uncut.
We could do the uncut version. Insta Twitter might get rid of us for cussing so much.
Oh, all right.
whatever we posted on, we cuss on this show. This is the first time you're watching this show, by the way. We curse on the show. You've been warned, but we don't. I could go really blue, really quick.
No, just stick to the script.
Beep 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 beep. A little background: we work out in the afternoons when she gets home from work, and I got out of the shower and I turned the shower off, and we had the TV on, and Diesel Brothers was on from AMC or from Discovery, and I turned the shower off, and all I hear is beep beep, and then I was gonna do beep beep, beep. I was gonna put this tire beep beep. I'm like, what the hell is going on back over there?
Must have been bad. I don't know. I was making dinner.
So first off, we want to thank everybody for joining us on The Big Show. We have two things that we ask from all of our people who come and watch us on the internet. One, please subscribe to the channel. It's up here or over there or it's around here somewhere. And just subscribe to the channel. It's free. And we just want to share our thoughts with you guys and have you guys share your thoughts with us. We do trailer reactions, movie reviews. We're going to do a bunch of reviews at the end of the show today. The only other thing that we ask is that you share our channel with your friends. If you like what we're doing enough to subscribe to the channel, I know your friends would like us just as much.
Right.
If you're out to dinner one night, with 8, 10, 50 of your closest friends like we do, and you're like, you know what? I saw these two yahoos on YouTube. I think you should subscribe to their channel. Just tell them about Pop Culture Cult and have them come subscribe. And
because that comes up in conversation at dinner all the time.
I can work it in.
He does.
I can work in the show and Vegas in the same 5-minute conversation.
He does.
Don't test me. So let's get into some of the news and notes. So after Comic-Con, there's been, I won't say a lull, but it's been a little bit of a slower, trend and stuff.
Well, yeah.
There was some stuff that came out today, and we've gotten to the point now that we've done enough of these shows and we've had enough conversations that if, the story today on Collider was Supergirl got a writer. Until they are on set with the clamp board actually filming, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm done talking about whatever DC's talking about maybe possibly doing. We'll talk about Wonder Woman. We'll talk about Aquaman. We'll talk about...
Well, DC TV's a little different.
DC's TV's a little bit different, yeah. But I just... They were making this big... It's just me that we're going to get a Man of Steel 2 and stuff. I know they're trying to get clicks and, trying to come up... they do a daily show. We do a weekly show. I understand that. But we're not going to talk about that more than what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, you just did.
Okay,
but
whatever. The big news that came out of this weekend, though, and most of last week, was from Star Trek convention in Las Vegas. We've talked about this the last couple years. That I'm a Star Wars fan first, but I have a soft spot for Next Generation and Star Trek and stuff. And come on, it's sci-fi, guys. And we've talked about maybe going because A, it's Vegas, and B, it's Star Trek, and it would be kind of fun to go up there and stuff. But the big thing that came out is Jean Luc Picard is back, bitches. Patrick Stewart showed up out of the blue at the Future of
Star
Trek panel or whatever.
Yeah.
And they actually have a set and the doors, the sliding doors and stuff.
Oh, did
and like this whole big thing that's set up. I was like, that looks like fun. And he just like the creator guy from CBS All Access came out, and he was talking about different things that they want to do and whatever. And he says, I have another announcement, but I have a friend that wants to do it for me. And the doors open, and Patrick Stewart comes out. And
people lost their minds.
And people lost their minds. And yay, Patrick's here. And he looks exactly the same. Yeah. He's what, 63 or 65?
I
or
don't know.
108?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Nobody knows.
He drinks the blood of the young.
Maybe.
Or bathes in it. But he announced that Picard is coming back on a CBS All Access show. Now, there's no name for the show as of right now.
Right.
But he is attached to it. He's going to come back. He is going to play Picard. And it's going to be 20 years after Nemesis.
Right.
Star Trek Nemesis.
Right.
Which was the one with Tom Hardy playing his
clone.
Yeah. I love Next Generation. I've seen all of them multiple times.
Yeah.
Although it has been a while since I've watched a bunch of them. So if you like on episode blah 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 blah, the ring. Okay, I can do that in Star Wars. I can do that in Next Generation. But one of the reasons that show was so good was because of the cast and everything, but specifically because of Patrick Stewart.
Yes, and it had been so long since. That was the first one, right? After the original series. And so it was new, it was a new concept. They started to, Deep Space Nine and then
Voyager Enterprise.
And they kind of
Voyager was good at times. Enterprise was okay. The problem with Enterprise is that it was like the prequel to the first series, and so it kind of like, as much as it was awesome and they did some really cool stuff on that show, the placement of that show wasn't right and stuff.
They were just trying to milk it, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's CBS. They will milk the Star Trek cow. They announced that there's gonna be multiple shows coming out in the Star Trek universe after the success of Discovery, and now we're gonna have this
proof that they will milk the Star Trek cow.
Right. But is this enough with what we've heard about Discovery, and now we're going to have a Picard series, probably has him as an ambassador or an admiral or something like that? Is that enough for the CBS All Access yet, or are we still waiting for...
No, I don't think 2 shows is enough.
Because like Hulu's got like 5 right now.
Yeah, and now we're like, well, we could do the free month.
We got to wait till they
binge a bunch of
they're only and they're doing Castle Rock every Wednesday, right? So you gotta wait till the whole series gets done and then get on there.
Yep.
But I'm excited about this, and it was all over the internet on Saturday when they announced it.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And Patrick Stewart posted a long thing about how he never really expected to come back to this role, but
I kind of got the feeling at the time that everybody was done. Right? It had run its course. There wasn't hard feelings, but people were done.
The show had ran for, well, if you count the movies, that cast was together for, 15 years?
Yeah.
And that's a long time for anybody to be together.
And it's tough to do a series for, however long they did it, 8-10 years,
like that.
For year after year.
And have it be fresh, and have it be. That's why you got the Borg storyline and all that stuff.
Yeah, and it was good. But I mean, I just, from stuff I heard or whatever, I just got the feeling that everybody was done.
Yeah.
When they did the movies, that was okay because you're gone for a while and you come back and you do this movie.
It's like summer camp.
Yeah, for like 6 weeks or 2 months or whatever. You film this movie and then you go away again. But, he seemed genuinely excited to do this again.
Yeah.
I don't know that he's really done a whole lot.
He's Xavier.
No. I meant in TV. He was that guy on, what was that, HBO or whatever? He was kind of like this crazy old guy.
Was that a movie or was that a...
No, I think it was a show.
It was a show. I think he's been
HBO,
doing some Broadway
Showtime,
stuff
something.
too.
Oh yeah, and he was doing Broadway stuff. And then, and like you said, Xavier, but that, again, a movie. It's not...
Right. He's not on set for 8 months doing the show and stuff.
Right.
I don't think that's going to be a problem for him, but I just, I agree. It's interesting to see him jump back into this.
Yeah.
And it's not like he can't get roles. He can get roles. I just if they went to him and said, "This is our idea with 20 years into the future," and do all the and kind of tell that story from that point of view. And they're obviously putting money into these shows on CBS All Access.
Yeah.
Because Discovery looks amazing.
Yeah.
And but I want to hear more about it before I actually get like all. I mean, it's the initial shock of it doing it at a convention is really cool, but I want to actually hear what they're gonna do with it and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, would I like to see it? Sure. Would I like to see Discovery? Sure, but do I want to pay
$9
for another
right.
subscription? No.
We're gonna get whatever. We're gonna probably get rid of a subscription this week and then go get another one. That's probably twice the price.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just that we're trying to draw a line at some place in the line right now, and it's Netflix, and
we got rid of cable to cut our bill in half,
right.
and now we're piling on top of it
at $5 a pop, or $10 a pop.
Well, and they're just we just don't have time.
Right. Netflix is worth the have.
Yeah,
we'll get into the Netflix and stuff in a minute.
Yeah, Amazon's a little tough just because we talked about it. That I watched a lot of the original shows on Amazon, and a lot of them are really good, but they've been gone forever.
Yeah,
like Man in the High Castle and
it just
Bosch,
came back, I think, or something. Yeah. Were they Sense8 around there?
Yeah.
Been gone for a year and a half.
I mean, Orange is the New Black. I just finished that maybe 4 months ago, and it's back.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't watch it when it first came out, right? But it wasn't. I mean, Man in the High Castle. It's been like 2 years.
Yeah. And that show, I don't know if that show is like hard to produce or not, but I
don't think so.
I don't know. But Jean Luc is back, mother. Okay, so we talked last week. We spent a lot of time talking about the James Gunn issues and everything that's been going on. And it came out this week, and we talked about how the cast got together and wrote a letter, and they all signed it. And then Kurt Russell came out, and separately from the core cast, he came out and pretty much said, "This is some bull, guys." It's Kurt Russell. He's not gonna pull punches, and that's kind of been the overwhelming response by most people in and out of the Hollywood scene.
Yeah. And the Kurt Russell thing's a little interesting because he is a star only because of Disney. He made when he was a teen, he made all those
well, okay. Yes, but he also was in Escape from New York and Escape from Los Angeles.
That was after.
Okay.
The reason why he became anybody was because he was a teen star for Disney.
Right.
And so it's interesting that he is now kind of coming out against them.
Yeah.
I mean, that was 50 years ago. It's not like he, but it's interesting.
Yeah. So Dave Bautista has pretty much doubled down on his defending of James Gunn. He did an interview with the Shortlist, and it was the first interview after the letter and everything like that. And he pretty much told Marvel that if you don't use his script and rehire him, I'm out. He exactly said, where I'm at right now is that if Marvel does not use that script, I'm going to ask them for a release from my contract, cut me out, or recast me. And then later in the interview, he said, I'd be doing James a disservice if I didn't, try to, if I'd stayed on.
Right.
And they did a whole new script and everything like that.
Right.
And then later on Twitter, he said, I will do what I'm legally obligated to do, but Guardians without James Gunn is not what I signed up for. Guardians of the Galaxy without James Gunn is not Guardians of the Galaxy. It's also pretty nauseating to work for somebody who empowered a smear campaign of fascist cyber Nazis, #cyber Nazis. That's how I feel. And he's been pretty. He's he's a pretty vocal guy.
Yeah.
Like he's not a bad guy or anything like that. He's just, this is my beliefs and this is how I stand, and we'll have a conversation. That's cool, but whatever.
Right.
But
well, he's in an interesting position, right? So he is not an actor first and foremost. He was a wrestler, who, like some other wrestlers, has taken on an acting career because you can't wrestle, for your entire life, or your lifespan is cut short, as has been proven. And wrestling is acting anyway.
So real to me, but yeah, it's acting.
So that's both good and bad for him, right? So he comes in, he's not a big name, he's not known. So him coming out and taking a stand, could be bad for his career, right? It could be harmful.
It could be harmful.
But he also hasn't been in Hollywood all this time, and
he's not a Hollywood guy.
Right. So he's like, no, this is wrong, and I'm going to stand up, where some other people are going to be like, well, yeah, it's wrong, but if I stand up, I may not be able to do what I and he's like, this is my third career.
Right.
I'll go, I'll go do something else.
John Roca was talking about it on Movie Talk today, and I heard some of the story about Dave Bautista. He had a really rough upbringing in Detroit because Detroit. But when he was at the height of his time in the WWE, they were kind of working on making either him or Cena, or the two of them together, the face of the franchise, and have Batista be the bad guy and Cena be the good guy, and they're the kind of the faces, and that's kind of how it's been run for a long time around there. You had The Rock and Austin and Triple H, and before that you had Hogan and all that stuff, and so they were. He went to management at the WWE, and when they kind of was starting to push it towards Cena, and he's like, "Hey, listen, I'm putting myself out there.
Yeah,
I should be, if not the face, at least the co-face of the franchise.
Yeah.
We need to start working on this." And he made it. He went to them and said, "This is how I feel." And he made it very public about how he felt about what was going on. They didn't really change his story arc or what was going on. And he said, "I'm gonna go try Hollywood."
Yeah.
And he tried to come back for a little bit and just didn't really wasn't working. And so he really dived into the movie thing.
Yeah.
And I find it. I'm struggling with this because the Me Too movement and what's going on and of empowering women, empowering minorities, and LGBT and all that is amazing. But at the same time, it's kind of like it's hurting people like James Gunn. It's going to hurt secondarily Dave Bautista because he's standing up for his friend who really didn't do anything wrong. It was even in the shortlist conversation in the article, even they said the tweets were released by alt-right, kind of guy. Yeah. And so even they, who were just reporting on the interview, said that they didn't come directly out and say, this is crap, but they came out and said it was crap. And I mean,
there's all kinds of reasons why it's crap. The fact that they knew about those tweets when Guardians of the Galaxy 1 was being made.
Right.
And, they waited until now because this guy's pissed off and whatever. I made my terrorism points last week.
Right.
But I just think it's a very interesting position for Dave Bautista to take. And, he might be one of the only people that could do that, but it would be an opportunity for everybody else to stand behind him and make it actually mean something, because Dave Bautista comes and says, I'm not going to do Guardians of the Galaxy, and Disney's going to be like, whatever.
Drax is not a big enough of a character that you can just recast without
they'll just write him out
or recast him or whatever. But if Chris Pratt and Zoe Saldana and
if everybody else kind of,
and they tried to do that without really coming out and saying
it,
they kind of hinted at it in their letter and how kind of this was handled wrong. The other stuff that's been going on since this. Gilbert Gottfried, who's done voiceover work for them in the past, has talked about his past and how he's said things and done things. Does he still have a job?
Right. Bobcat Goldthwait. Voices something in like Aladdin or something. There's all kinds of comedians out there.
The one that I saw today was Dave Monday, who does a bunch of stuff on. He kind of does the same thing, just bigger. He posted, "Hey Disney, Josh Brolin was arrested in 2004 for domestic violence. Does that not count?" Like if we're going to talk about James Gunn making some bad jokes and firing him, then that opens the floodgates for everybody else.
8 years ago.
It opens the floodgates for everybody else. And so Dave Bautista standing up here, I think in the long run is going to be, even if he doesn't come back as Drax. I'm not saying he's gonna stay out, and get not be there, and I expect him to be there. But with him doing this and the people coming in and kind of supporting him and being there in his support of James Gunn, I think is gonna maybe change the way some of this is going to go down. At least I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, maybe.
So, I think that's probably all we're going to talk about with the James Gunn thing, unless something new comes out. But Dave Bautista pretty much telling everybody to buck up. It was pretty good. Weekend box office. We want to talk about this just for a minute. Mission Impossible Fallout did really well again, $35 million. It's a 42% drop. I think I said last week that it was going to be like a 40% drop. Yep. Word of mouth on that movie is amazing. Like everybody asked us when we went and saw it. Like the next day, like, dude, was it good? I'm like, go see it. Go see it. Go see it in IMAX. Go see it in Adobe Theater.
Yeah.
It's at 124 domestically. It's made its money back. It's gonna be fine. Christopher Robbins made $24 million. The Spy Who Dumped Me made $12 million. Really? The Spy? No. Mamma Mia 2. Apparently there was an audience for it because it's made another $9 million and $91 million total domestically. Equalizer 2. 8.7. That's at 80 domestically. But what I really want to talk about is Christopher Robbins. Now, I always thought when they announced this that this was a November release. Apparently, it was an August release. Must pay attention.
It feels like a movie that should come out around Christmas, but they've got Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins, right? So they kind of dumped it in August. Is kind of what it feels like because everybody's going back to school. So I'm just. $24.5 million seems like a really small opening for that. For me. Now, there might be some difference of opinion here because Pooh is a big part of our house because some people have... Which one do you have on your arm? You have Pooh on our arm. So Winnie the Pooh is a big deal in our house. But I didn't see a ton of advertising for it. Now, we don't watch those kind of channels and stuff like that. And it was kind of directed towards kids. I have heard very little to not much about it at all. And the stuff that I have heard is it's okay at best.
See, I've seen a ton of people, like our friends, who went and saw it, and they said it was great on Facebook.
Some of the movie reviewers that I follow and stuff like that said it was just okay.
I don't listen to movie reviewers.
But
I'm over listening to what anybody has to say about a movie until I go see it.
Right. And then we can have a conversation about how awesome Last Jedi was. But now the budget was $75 million for Christopher Robbins, and I just feel like it should have had a $40 million beginning. $45 million. It just seems like it's short. That's. I don't know. It might be one of those movies that's in the box office for 8 months, like Black Panther.
Probably.
And
I mean, we're not going to go see it until this coming weekend.
Right.
We, as in me and
the
girls.
Yeah, they're doing
not it. We, as in we.
I get the yard work.
3 generations of girls in our family are going to go.
The other big thing that came out after this weekend was Black Panther crossed the $700 million domestic box office. It's still in the theater. It's still in the theater. It's on our shelf.
You can watch it at home, people.
It's $1.3 billion total. It is only the third movie ever to cross $700 million domestically. The other two is Avatar and The Force Awakens. And those are two of the top 3 movies box office of all time.
So where's Infinity War in that right now?
Infinity War, I think, was at right around 600 million. Okay. But I think worldwide it was over 2.2 billion or something like that. But Black Panther was not a comic book movie. It was a comic book movie. The reason it's made $700 million in the theater is because it was a cultural event.
Yeah.
Not a movie event. Infinity War is a movie event to me. That was everybody wanted to go see it and see what happened after all the years. But a black cast, a black lead.
We talked about it when we went and saw it. It was when we went and saw it, there were a ton of people in the movie theater who you would not have seen at a regular comic book movie.
Right.
There was, obviously lots of black people because it's Black Panther, but there were, older women and older men and,
older black women in the African print outfits and stuff was just really awesome.
And younger, dad and his kid and, there was just people that you aren't necessarily the comic book demographic, comic book movie demographic.
Right.
So that, it's, you almost have to take it out of the rest of the comic book stuff.
Infinity War makes sense for as well as it's done because you got 10 years of build up to Infinity War.
Yeah, if you've seen a Marvel
18
movie,
movies,
you need to go see Infinity War.
Right. It's and I don't want to hear anybody complain that there was no character building or whatever in the movie or whatever.
There's been 10 years of
It's been 10 years
building.
of that, right? It's my argument with people like, I want to see the origin story of Vader. We spent 3 movies on it. And you all hate them.
Yeah, that's happened.
It's happened, but yeah, you have to pull Black Panther out. Like it's, I can't think of another movie that is that culturally, I won't say important, but important. I mean, I can't think of one off the top of my head where even in like. It's never happened. And that's why it's still in the theater, even though it's on our Blu-ray shelf. Yeah. So I just think it's awesome. Go see Fallout.
Yes.
There's nothing official out there other than there's 6 states already approved by Marvel. They've claimed there's nothing to them outside of Marvel. Captain Marvel, Infinity War 2, and Far From Home. Those are the only 3 movies that we know for sure.
Right.
One of those 6 states is going to be Black Panther 2. It's just going to happen.
Right.
There's
absolutely.
There's, spoilers for Infinity War. He's kind of really light colored right now and a little pile.
So is Spider-Man.
And we know they're filming that. So it's just, but. There's no way you make this much money on a movie like this and have this much of a cultural impact on everything without doing a second one.
Yeah.
I just want Ryan Coogler to do it.
Yeah.
I don't care what else. I don't care what they have to do. Get Ryan Coogler to do it.
I hope you don't have any tweets in your past, Ryan.
Right. Just Disney back up. Disney needs to back up the dump truck, hit the handle after they've done a Google search. So Google search and anything Ryan Coogler, okay, nothing, and all the cash. No, that's not how it works. Okay, moving on to all other reviews. So we're in the process of working on our house, and so the last couple of weekends we haven't really gone out and done much. And so this weekend we stayed home on Friday and did a sci-fi noir something or other.
Yeah, we hit sci-fi on Netflix and began.
And so we're going to start with the first one we saw, and it was Extinction. It just came out last week. It's got Michael Pena and Lizzie Kaplan. It's a Netflix original. It's a sci-fi alien invasion movie.
Yeah.
It's about the best way
I mean, the title is Extinction.
Right.
So
Michael Pena plays this factory worker, trying to be a good dad. Janitor kind of guy. And he keeps, like, having nightmares and, like, drifting away at work and stuff. And he keeps having these visions of
the end of the world,
of the end of this alien invasion.
Yeah,
and so the alien invasion happens while they're having a house party, and his wife's friend's husband or whatever, and they're sitting on the patio, and the ships start falling from the sky, and he's like, "What's that?" And Michael Pena's like, "You can see that?" And he's like, the whole like.
I've been seeing this for weeks.
Yeah, I don't understand. I wanted it to be better. We're not going to spoil anything here.
Yeah. But so I was confused. I thought that it was a series.
Right.
And that's what I was fully expecting. And then it's all moving super fast. And I'm like, and so I said, "Is this a movie?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, okay." There's so much of an opportunity to make it into, and it didn't even have to be anything more than just what it was. Like, make it a 10 episode.
Yeah.
No, this is one thing that I don't think Netflix has really embraced yet. Everything has to either be a movie or a series, where we're going to have season 2 and season 3 and maybe season 4. Just do a mini series, right?
Like
do
a
a
ABC
beginning to end.
Yeah.
But make it 10 episodes so that you can explore the character. There was so much more I wanted to understand about what was going on, and these dreams that he was having, and his relationship with his wife and his kids, and and it was all just super rushed, and so you kind of just didn't feel for anybody.
Right. I liked Michael Pena's character. I liked what he was trying to do. Mike Coulter, Luke Cage is his boss. I
was gonna ask you. I was like, "Is that Luke?" And I kept thinking, "Is that Luke Cage?"
It's Luke Cage, and I really liked the idea of, like, exploring his, like, relationship, because, like, there's a couple scenes where his boss is like, "Are you okay? Hey, I need to leave home. You go home early and stuff like that." Like, there was a backstory there, and it was just a really cool. Like, there was all these things that were set up,
but for the sake of 2 hours, you never
get a chance to get around to it.
Yeah.
I liked the smallness of it. This is going to sound really weird. It's an alien invasion movie, but pretty much everything happens within one building.
Well, that's how the original Cloverfield was too, right? It's very small. It's just everything that's happening to that little group of people.
It was not the shaky can handheld like Cloverfield was, but it's that same kind of feel to it, same kind of lighting, and Lizzie Kaplan is in it. So
yeah, but it's just that you're not over here watching the aliens land and take out. You're staying with this group of people.
My only other I really wanted it to be better. I just don't see Lizzie Kaplan as a stay-at-home mom.
She wasn't a stay-at-home mom.
But she was an engineer, but I just didn't the way she was kind of set up. I didn't see her as, like, the motherly. I don't see her as the motherly type. I see her as the freewheeling, wife. Let's go camping for the weekend. Like, I see her as that kind of character. I don't see her as the caring mother, maternal. That's the word I'm looking for. And so overall, I think I give it like 2.5.
Yeah. Maybe a 2.
Yeah. The only reason I think I'd give it any more, that's why I gave it a little bit more, was because it's Michael Payne. Yeah, I love the idea of this. And there's a twist.
Yeah.
There's a really cool twist that I feel didn't pay off as much as it could have.
Again, because there was no emotional.
Yeah. Okay. 2. All right. 2. Not the worst movie we've seen all year. But
No.
it missed so bad.
It was disappointing.
It was disappointing.
It was sad.
Especially since they're doing a big marketing push for it the last week or so.
Yeah,
so.
we should learn that if Netflix is pushing it that hard, it's probably
right.
good.
So that kind of leads us into the next one. The next one was
ANON,
which came out in May. And it was the next suggestion after Extinction.
Right. Never heard of it.
Never had a clue. Gerard Butler and Amanda Seyfried, and the guy from Chronicles of Riddick, the Lord Marshall. It is sci-fi noir, and it is essentially the story of this noir detective in the future, and people are connected to each other, kind of like how the internet is connected to each other.
Right.
But it's your brain that's connected to everybody else. And so as you're walking down the street, you look at somebody in the face, and it brings up all of your age, your height, your weight, your backstory, what you do for a living,
Google
or whatever.
Glass, but in your eye.
In your eye.
Or the thing everybody we've talked to, and I even said the same thing. It's like the episode. Well, it was an ongoing theme in Black Mirror where they had the thing in their head or their neck, whatever. Same thing.
The other thing too is you could, because since he's a detective, he could go back and connect with murder victims and watch it from their point of view.
Yeah.
So you got a POV of the murder or a POV of the murderer in some cases, and it's him trying to solve these murders of these people. And Amanda Seyfried is this kind of hacker has this ability to change stuff that's going on.
Right. So
what you're seeing and stuff.
Yeah, you can't actually believe the video that you're watching because she's off grid and can get in there and change stuff.
It was really like really well done. Like, I don't know who directed it. I don't know who wrote it. It was Gerard Butler's always a win for us. But it had that. It was a detective noir set in the future.
He was very much his character in Sin City.
Yes,
he was very much that character.
A little bit more clean version of that character, but it's that same kind of and he has to have sex with a prostitute and then has to hire Amanda Seyfried to kind of help cover it up and
wipe his memory.
And so the story arc and everything that they do and what's going on and who's really the bad guy, who's really the good guy, and all that. It was so well done.
Yeah.
I wonder if this was like a graphic novel or something like that.
Maybe. It was weird too because it felt like kind of 50s, noir and all the cars were, what were they, Torinos? Tornadoes,
I think,
like
is what they were.
All of them,
but they were all electric.
Yeah. And it was Toronto. Is that what we said? It was filmed.
So
in
very
Toronto?
like concrete-based buildings, very straight, angular lines. All of their clothes were very like today's, but everything's very muted.
Yeah,
and like the whole. There's no color, color palette in the whole thing, and like it was so well shot, and you feel for Gerard Butler, you feel for Amanda Seyfried, you're questioning what you spend your. I'm trying not to ruin it, but it's hard. It's like you spend a lot of the movie questioning. Is the technology right? Is is having that ability to do that stuff and have everybody be able to have it. And
it's kind of Blade Runner-y.
Yes. Like if you took Blade Runner, Batman Year One, and Black Mirror and had them have a 3-way baby, that's what this movie was.
So there you go. If you're completely confused, go watch it.
Yeah. I would give it I haven't even thought about it. 3.75.
Really? 3. I might want to watch it again, but 3.
I may have been 3 whiskeys and 5 beers another night when we got to that movie. So it may not be that good, but
I wasn't there. But
yeah, that's kind of where I was at. Then on Saturday, we watched this movie that just came out. And we got lucky to see it. It's called Ex Machina. We're not going to spend a ton of time on it because this movie is 4 years old,
for like 3
and
years.
there's like all kinds of stuff. And then we went and watched the Film Joy movies with Mikey, trying to explain what happens in Ex Machina. I have to watch it like 6 times and watch Mikey's like thing. I think I understand.
I get it.
I understand.
So where Extinction failed in the making you care about the characters, Ex Machina, like
I wanted to punch Oscar Isaac's character every time he's on the screen.
Yes.
He was a douchebag.
Yes.
In every way possible.
But the point again, this movie's been out for 3 or 4. We saw something that said it came out in 2014, but then somewhere else it said 2015. So I don't know, but it makes you question humanity, what it means to be human. And
yes,
if a machine, at what point have you given the machine everything that it needs to be to now be human?
Right. And that's what they're testing. Everybody's ever said, I've been really good and not known anything about this movie. Everybody said it's amazing. And so I went in pretty blind to everything, and I was super, like, everybody that's ever said anything about it is spot on.
Yeah,
it is so well done. It's amazingly shot.
Yeah.
In one location.
So it's the director of Annihilation.
Yeah, Alex Garland.
Yeah.
And like Annihilation, you have to watch it multiple times because they don't necessarily just say, and here's how you're supposed to think. It gives you multiple versions to let you think about what humanity is.
Yeah.
And what our responsibility is with each other and others.
Right.
And whatever that other could be.
And advancing technology. At what point is it?
And like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's I mean, we're not spoiling the movie. It's been out. I'm not going to worry about spoiling a freaking 3, 4, 5-year-old movie.
Yeah. Well, we won't. I mean, there's so much more, but we won't go into. But I mean, that's the gist.
Yeah, it's really awesome. That's a 4.5 for me. Not that we need to score it, but it's a 4.5 for me. It's a 4 for me. I'll go 4.
Yeah, I'm a solid 4.
Yeah.
Like
probably
I said,
it's gonna be one of those ones. If we watch it more, it's gonna go up.
Yeah. I think it would be one of those ones that we probably watch repeatedly.
Yeah.
Which may be why it's been on HBO and Amazon and Netflix and
trending. I got on Netflix on Saturday, and after we got everything done and did all our stuff, and I the first thing that pops up is trending on Netflix, and the third one on was Ex Machina. I'm like, hey, I know what we're doing. Click. It was after we went to dinner too.
Yeah.
So, and then the last thing that we're going to review is the season 4 of Flash. Now, we've talked about it the last few weeks that we had been struggling to get through Flash.
Yep.
We've talked about in the past also that our issue with Flash is not the way that how the actors are, the characters. We like the characters, we like the actors, we like all that stuff. The problem that we've had, at least that I've had in the past with the show, is the monster of the week, the issue of the week is resolved at the end of each episode, and
there's no
consequences to anything that happens.
Yeah.
Which
Barry's gone, and then he's back, and then
everybody kisses, and we're
somebody's
better.
dead, and then they're not.
Yeah, and that was kind of what the first 5 or so episodes, and then it slowly got into the thinker and that process and stuff.
So that was a good storyline. I liked it for the most part.
Yeah.
that I guess if you haven't seen Flash,
where's the spoilers?
Spoilers.
It's spoilers.
It's a stick.
Where's our spoiler thing?
I don't.
Keep talking.
I don't know.
I see it. It's right there.
There you go. Spoilers for Flash.
That's not the one, but overall.
No, I don't remember what I was saying. So for the most part, I liked the Thinker because it wasn't the monster of the week. The big things don't have consequences, right? And so, I don't remember his name. The stretch guy, the
Ralph,
elastic man,
the elongation man.
Yes,
elongating man.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I really liked him.
Yeah, I did too.
And I
he was a refreshing addition to the cast. Yeah.
And then spoilers, and then they kill him.
Right.
And you're like, this is season 4. He is not dead. And Barry has this whole, he's got to go to the psychiatrist, which they're all seeing the same psychiatrist now, or psychologist now. Yeah. And he's not dealing with it, and Freeze comes, or Snark comes, and
from Earth X, which is a nice tie-in to Crisis on Earth X.
Yeah. And he's the gay Snark, so he's more in touch with his feelings than our Earth Snark was, and so he's telling him, you've got to deal with this, and da-da. And the whole time I'm like, he's not dead. He's not dead.
Yeah.
He's not dead.
Yeah.
And it pissed me off because I really liked that character, and they killed him off, and I'm like, if I had any inkling that he would not be back, I would have really been sad.
Yeah.
But I knew that he was going to. And he was.
Yeah.
Big surprise.
And that's one of the problems with Flash, is that you have multiple Earths. But like timey-wimey and shit. We talk about this all the time. You could go back and fix time or whatever. And by the way, he wasn't really dead. He was in the consciousness of the Thinker. So they had to go. They had to go into the multiverse. Why wasn't
everybody else in there?
I don't know. Because he was using his body. He
used everybody else's body too.
Now you understand why we were struggling with Flash. I want some. I know they don't do it in the comic. I know the guy who played Wally West, is not coming back. Make him sacrifice himself to save Ralph, or do some. It was after the fact, but just like Arrow, every decision Oliver Queen makes on Arrow has a domino effect somewhere down the line. Now that domino may not fall for like 3 seasons.
Yeah.
But every decision he makes has a consequence.
Well, and that's kind of what made this season better, because in the beginning they are like, we got to bring him back
from the Speed Force,
bring him back from the Speed Force, and that's what causes the thing with the bus, and that's what causes all these people,
get all these new metas and stuff, which is cool. I liked all the new metas and stuff. That was cool.
And that was cool that it tied that whole thing together.
I like that too, because it gave the overall story arc, but also gave you the monster of the week. Right. You had the individual characters who were new metas,
right,
and they had to go stop them and figure out how it is, but all of those were connected, and as you went along with the season and stuff,
right,
you had that overall story arc, which is one of the things I love. I love that overall story arc.
I just kept thinking to myself, when he was dead, I'm like, I kind of want him to just be dead. But we had seen Kevin Smith's
the IMDb boat.
The IMDb boat. They had the Flash crew, and he was there, and so he's coming back. They're not going to have a
right, but that's to be fair for the show. That's on us because we're 2 months behind watching.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I knew he was coming back, but when he was dead, I was thinking to myself, I really like this character. I don't want him to be dead, and I know he's not, but I kind of want him to be dead.
Yeah. I'm the same way with Wells, with HR. I really like the guy who plays HR because he plays all the different universe versions and the Council of Wells.
Yeah,
and all
they were crazy.
It was so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
I'd love like a 6-episode arc of just conversations with the Council of Wells, like just like. Remember the dinner for five?
Yeah,
that Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
I want that, like little 15-20 minute like of the Council of Wells down at their table. I want that. And I like that character, but they took away his intelligence and then they gave it back to him. But then it's not all the way back, and it's like now he's going back home and he's gonna come back next season and he's gonna be smart again because he figured out how to zap his brain and get 7 PhDs.
Or we'll get
again,
one of the other Wells.
Or we'll get Wells from Earth 4 now or whatever. We'll just and that's and I just want them to just I'll be honest, we'll probably end up watching the next season because we're invested at this point in time, and Arrow's got us. We're in. We're Arrow. We're Team Arrow or Olicity, Team Olicity, and we love Legends of Tomorrow because it's essentially American Doctor Who.
Yeah, it's just silly.
It's silly. It's dumb. They know they're silly and dumb.
Yeah.
There's shots of them at Woodstock from this season.
Yeah.
And they're all dressed up and like they're at Woodstock, which is awesome. I love that. Yeah. And they're not too serious. And there's a good story in that show too. But
Bebo
I just want.
Loves you.
I want a Bebo so fucking bad. I just want Arrow. I just want Flash to have that kind of. Like, I'm excited to watch the new season.
Yeah, it's just like they can't find it. You know, and there was a couple seasons with Arrow.
There's a season and a half of Arrow that were a struggle. Yeah.
It's like Flash has just always been this way.
Yeah. I loved the first season of Flash.
Yeah.
But I didn't know. Know like how the thing everything was set up and stuff.
Yeah. By the time you're at season 4, you're like, nobody's ever nothing bad ever really sticks.
Right. We saved Barry from the Speed Force, and he's writing on the wall.
They never did resolve that.
And they never resolved that, except then they showed it later when Wells is writing on the wall with the same thing, and then
the girl
at Jitters is writing the same thing. So it all has to deal with the Speed Force. Well, he like goes and saves Wes Allen, his wife.
Oh
my God, I can't think of it. He goes and saves her, and then all of a sudden he remembers, and they all hug it out, and then they go on to episode 2, and it's like, okay, this was the problem with Flashpoint. Flashpoint should have been an entire season.
Yeah.
Or a half of a season, and then you have to deal with the consequences
Barry's
of Flash.
crazy, and now he's not crazy.
Yeah,
and we've all just forgotten about the fact that he was crazy and writing things on the wall.
And I love the cast, and Kevin Smith goes and directs this episode. You could tell when Kevin Smith. This is gonna sound really bad. Just gonna put this out there right now. You can tell the difference, and even though Kevin Smith's talked about this, you can tell the difference when Kevin Smith's on set. Those episodes are better.
I'll take your word for it. I don't know specifically which ones he's done.
Well, whenever him or Jay show up, they're on that episode, and those episodes are always better.
Him and Jay are in the episodes?
They were the security guards.
Oh, yeah, and that one.
In that episode, and that was one of the better episodes of that season.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
And Kevin Smith, so it's like, I go get frickin' Arby's for everybody every night, and I don't do anything. And it's like, no, I can tell that you're... Anyways, that's our thoughts on Flash. I could go on for forever, but we
have.
So that's this week's episode 72 of The Big Shoe. What do you guys think of this? Are you excited about Jean Luc Picard's return? Have you seen any of the movies we talked about? It's okay if you've seen Ex Machina. We're late to the party on that one. And then what are your thoughts on opening weekend for the box office for Winnie the Pooh? All the stuff we talked about, let us know. Leave us a comment. Be nice, but leave us a comment on your thoughts of what you've been seeing in movies and TVs and all that stuff. Also, like this video. I have already told you to subscribe. You've already done that already. I know you have because I told you to do it, and you listen to what you're told. You can get a hold of us, too, on our social media network. We are Pop Culture Cult on Facebook, Pop Culture Cult 1 on Instagram, and we're at Pop_Cult 1 on Twitter. We are part of the Stardust app. We are going to stay on the Stardust app. We are not probably going to stay on the Movie Pass app. But download the Stardust app for free, and you can react to everything that you're watching, little 30-second trailer movie reviews. All that we ask is that you follow us first. I mean, we're asking you to do a lot. Subscribe to our channel and follow us. Do all this stuff. But download it, follow us first, and all that stuff. And until next week's The Really Big Shoe, good night now.